If you've been seeing shocking headlines about Florida's mass deportation crackdown in 2026, and you're terrified because you think ICE is going door to door arresting anyone who looks foreign, or that entire communities are being emptied overnight, I need you to stop scrolling and listen carefully because while immigration enforcement operations are indeed happening in Florida, the vast majority of what you're seeing on social media is sensationalized, mixed with footage from previous years, or simply untrue, and reacting to false information could actually put you in more danger than the enforcement itself. You deserve to know exactly what is happening, who is genuinely at risk, what your legal protections are, and what concrete steps you can take right now to protect yourself and your family based on facts, not fear. Welcome to Immigration Law Alerts, where we give you immigration information that is calm, factual, and free from the rumors that are spreading panic across immigrant communities right now. Let me start by establishing what we actually know versus what is being claimed online. Immigration enforcement in the United States is managed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly called ICE, which operates under the Department of Homeland Security. ICE has field offices across the country, including multiple offices in Florida, and these offices have been conducting enforcement operations for many years under every administration regardless of political party. What has changed recently is not the existence of enforcement, but rather the intensity of certain operations, the public messaging around enforcement, and the level of media attention focused on Florida specifically. The term mass deportations is being used very loosely right now, and it's creating unnecessary panic. Let me be clear about what mass deportations would actually mean versus what is happening. True mass deportations would involve systematic roundups of large numbers of people from specific communities, immediate removals without legal process, and operations that bypass immigration courts and due process protections. That is not what is occurring in Florida or anywhere else in the United States right now. What is happening is an increase in targeted enforcement operations where ICE agents are arresting specific individuals who meet certain criteria, and these individuals still go through the legal removal process, which includes court hearings and opportunities for legal representation. Now let's address the most viral rumors that are causing fear in Florida communities. Rumor 1, ICE is conducting random raids in neighborhoods and arresting anyone who cannot immediately prove citizenship. This is false. ICE enforcement operations are not random. They are typically planned in advance, and they target individuals who have outstanding removal orders, individuals who have been convicted of certain crimes, or individuals who are considered enforcement priorities based on ICE's internal guidelines. While it is true that ICE agents sometimes encounter other individuals during these operations who also may not have legal status, the operations themselves are targeted, not random neighborhood sweeps. Rumor 2, ICE is setting up checkpoints on highways and stopping cars to check people's immigration status. Misleading. While Customs and Border Protection, which is a different agency from ICE, does operate immigration checkpoints in border regions, ICE does not generally conduct random traffic stops to check immigration status. If you are stopped by local police for a traffic violation, and the police department has a cooperation agreement with ICE, your information might be shared, but ICE is not setting up roadblocks to check papers as some social media posts suggest. Rumor 3, if you are undocumented, you will definitely be deported if ICE finds you. Not necessarily true. Immigration law in the United States is complex, and many people who do not have current legal status may still have options to fight deportation, apply for relief, or have their cases reviewed by an immigration judge. Being undocumented does not automatically mean you will be deported without any legal process. You have the right to appear before an immigration judge, you have the right to be represented by an attorney, and depending on your circumstances, you may qualify for forms of relief such as asylum, cancellation of removal, or other protections. Rumor 4, U.S. citizens and green card holders are being deported by mistake. Extremely rare, but not impossible. There have been documented cases over the years of U.S. citizens being mistakenly detained by immigration authorities, but these cases are exceptional, not routine. If you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident with a green card and you are encountered by ICE, you should immediately assert your status, provide documentation if you have it, and request to speak with an attorney. Lawful permanent residents can only be deported if they have committed certain serious crimes or have engaged in fraud. Simply being a green card holder does not put you at deportation risk. Let me now explain who is actually at higher risk under current enforcement priorities. ICE enforcement priorities generally focus on individuals who have final orders of removal, meaning they have already gone through immigration court and a judge has ordered them deported. Individuals who have been convicted of crimes, especially those classified as aggravated felonies under immigration law. Individuals who pose a threat to public safety or national security according to ICE assessments, individuals who have recently entered the United States illegally, and individuals who have previously been deported and re-entered without authorization. If you do not fall into any of these categories, your risk level is significantly lower, though not zero. Now let me be very clear about who is at lower risk. U.S. citizens cannot be deported, period. Even if you were born in another country, or even if you have family members without status, lawful permanent residents with clean criminal records and no immigration violations are at very low risk. Individuals with valid work permits, such as those with employment authorization documents, are generally not enforcement priorities. People with pending asylum cases who are attending their court hearings are not typically targeted. Individuals who have temporary protected status or deferred action programs like DACA are protected as long as their status remains valid. And individuals who have never had any encounters with immigration authorities and who do not have removal orders are less likely to be targeted in enforcement operations. However, I want to be very honest with you. If you are living in the United States without legal status and you do not fall into a protected category, you do face deportation risk. That risk may be higher or lower depending on your specific circumstances, but it exists. The purpose of this video is not to tell you that there is no risk. The purpose is to help you understand what that risk actually is based on facts, not exaggerated social media posts. Let me explain how immigration enforcement actually happens, because understanding the process will help you prepare. ICE enforcement generally occurs in a few ways. First, targeted home visits, where ICE agents go to a specific address looking for a specific person who has an outstanding removal order or who meets enforcement criteria. Second, workplace enforcement, where ICE conducts audits or operations at businesses suspected of employing unauthorized workers. Third, courthouse arrests, where ICE agents wait outside courthouses and arrest individuals who have immigration violations when they appear for other legal matters. Fourth, jail transfers, where ICE takes custody of individuals who have been arrested by local police and who also have immigration violations. What almost never happens, despite viral videos suggesting otherwise, is ICE agents randomly walking through neighborhoods, knocking on every door, or stopping people on the street demanding papers. Those types of scenarios are exaggerations, or they involve footage from other countries or from many years ago being presented as current events. If ICE agents come to your home, you have specific rights that you should know. You do not have to open the door unless ICE has a judicial warrant signed by a judge. An administrative warrant issued by ICE itself does not give them authority to enter your home without your consent. You can ask them to slide the warrant under the door so you can see it. If it is not a judicial warrant, you can refuse to open the door. You have the right to remain silent, and you do not have to answer questions about where you were born or your immigration status. You have the right to speak to an attorney before answering any questions. If ICE agents enter your home, do not resist physically, but you can state clearly that you do not consent to the search. Anything you say can be used against you in immigration court, so it is often best to say as little as possible until you speak with a lawyer. Now let's talk about what is specifically happening in Florida that has triggered all these headlines. Florida has several large ICE field offices, including in Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, and other cities. These offices have been conducting what they call targeted enforcement operations in recent months. According to ICE's own statements, these operations are focused on individuals with criminal convictions, individuals with final removal orders, and individuals who are considered public safety threats. However, during these operations, ICE agents do sometimes encounter and arrest other individuals who do not have legal status, even if those individuals were not the original targets. Florida also has significant cooperation between some local law enforcement agencies and ICE, though this varies by county and city. Some jurisdictions have agreements that allow ICE to access local jail databases and to interview or take custody of individuals who are arrested on state or local charges. Other jurisdictions have policies limiting such cooperation. This patchwork of local policies means that your risk level can vary depending on where in Florida you live. The term crackdown in the video title refers to an increase in enforcement activity and public statements from immigration officials about prioritizing removals, but it does not mean that immigration law itself has fundamentally changed or that new mass deportation authority has been created. The legal framework for deportation remains the same. What has changed is the intensity and visibility of enforcement operations. Now let me address what you should actually do if you are worried about immigration enforcement. First, and most importantly, consult with a qualified immigration attorney or a Board of Immigration Appeals accredited representative. Do not rely on notarios, immigration consultants, or people who are not licensed attorneys. Immigration law is extremely complex, and your specific situation requires individual legal analysis. Many attorneys offer free or low-cost consultations, and there are nonprofit organizations that provide legal help to people who cannot afford private attorneys. Second, if you have any pending immigration case, make absolutely sure you attend all scheduled hearings and comply with all requirements. Missing a court date will almost certainly result in a removal order being issued against you in your absence, and once you have a removal order, you become an enforcement priority. Keep all immigration documents in a safe place and make sure family members know where to find them. Third, create an emergency plan with your family. Identify someone you trust who can take care of your children if you are detained. Make sure this person has necessary documents and contact information. Write down the phone number of an immigration attorney you can call if you are arrested. Keep a list of important documents such as birth certificates, passports, and any immigration papers in a location your family can access. Fourth, know your rights and teach them to your family members. Everyone in your household should understand that they do not have to open the door for ICE without a judicial warrant, that they have the right to remain silent, and that they should ask to speak with an attorney if they are detained. These rights exist regardless of immigration status, and they are protected by the U.S. Constitution. Fifth, verify information before you believe it or share it. If you see posts about massive raids or checkpoints, try to confirm the information with trusted sources such as local immigrant rights organizations, immigration attorneys in your area, or reputable news outlets. Social media is full of old videos, exaggerated claims, and outright false information. Before you panic or change your life based on something you saw online, verify it. Sixth, be cautious about your daily activities, but do not stop living your life. While it is wise to avoid unnecessary interactions with law enforcement and to be aware of your surroundings, you should not become paralyzed by fear. Continue going to work, taking your children to school, and attending medical appointments. Living in constant fear is not sustainable, and it often leads to worse outcomes such as missing work and losing jobs or avoiding medical care. Seventh, if you or a family member is arrested by ICE, do not panic and do not sign anything without speaking to an attorney. Use the ICE online detainee locator system, which is available on the ICE website to find out where the person is being held. Contact an immigration attorney immediately. Understand that being arrested does not mean immediate deportation. The person will typically have the opportunity for a bond hearing and will go through immigration court proceedings. Let me also address some practical realities about deportation that many people misunderstand. Deportation is not instant. Even if someone is arrested by ICE, the removal process typically involves detention, a hearing before an immigration judge, opportunities to apply for relief or bond, and in many cases, appeals. This process can take months or even years depending on the circumstances and the backlogs in immigration courts. During this time, the person or their attorney can fight the case, present evidence, and argue for relief from removal. Additionally, many people who are arrested by ICE are eventually released on bond or through other mechanisms while their cases are pending. Being arrested does not automatically mean the person will be deported, especially if they have strong ties to the United States, family members who are U.S. citizens or lawful residents, or potential forms of relief such as asylum claims. Now I want to address the emotional and community impact of increased enforcement. Even if you personally are not at risk, living in a community where enforcement is happening creates fear, stress, and anxiety. This is understandable, and it is a real burden that immigrant communities carry. However, it is important to channel that fear into productive action rather than panic. Get informed about your rights, consult with attorneys, build support networks with trusted community members, plan for emergencies, and stay connected to accurate information sources. Immigration law alerts exist specifically to help you do this. We are committed to providing you with factual, calm, and clear information about what is actually happening in immigration enforcement so that you can make informed decisions rather than decisions based on rumors or fear. Let me also remind you that immigration rules rarely change overnight and due process exists. While enforcement priorities and intensity can shift, the fundamental legal process for deportation remains governed by immigration courts, legal procedures, and constitutional protections. If you have legal status, maintain it carefully by complying with all requirements. If you do not have legal status, understand your risk level realistically and consult with an attorney about whether you might qualify for any protections or relief. Before I close, I want to say something directly to those of you who are living without legal status and who are scared right now. Your fear is valid, immigration enforcement is real, and it does result in deportations. But fear should not prevent you from accessing the information and legal help that might protect you. Many people in your situation have legal options they don't know about. Some may qualify for asylum, for U visas if they have been victims of certain crimes, for protection under the Violence Against Women Act, for cancellation of removal if they have been in the United States for many years and have U.S. citizen family members, or for other forms of relief. You will not know unless you consult with a qualified attorney. For those of you who have legal status, remember that your status comes with rights and protections. Do not let fear cause you to avoid necessary activities or to live as if you have no rights. You do have rights, and you should exercise them. For those of you who are U.S. citizens watching this video because you are worried about family members or friends, the best thing you can do is share accurate information, help your loved ones connect with legal resources, and support them in creating emergency plans without adding to the panic that is already overwhelming many communities. If this video helped you understand what is actually happening with immigration enforcement in Florida, separate the facts from the rumors, and feel more prepared to protect yourself and your family, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to Immigration Law Alerts and turn on notifications. We are committed to providing you with ongoing factual immigration updates as situations develop. Share this video with anyone in your community who might be scared or confused, and if you have specific immigration questions, leave them in the comments. While I cannot provide personal legal advice, I can address common questions in future videos. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay informed with facts, know your rights, verify information before believing it, and if you need legal help, consult with a qualified immigration attorney as soon as possible.